right, good morning. Happy Sunday. Uh should probably adjust that before I start the stream, but whatever. Good morning. How's it going? Well, I thought today I would just continue where we left off. I have actually spent a little bit of time since our last stream last Sunday on this project, the one, the only Nom Zom Defense. Couple of things. Um, let's see. There was one thing that was outstanding that I had AI work on. Can I spot it in this list of things? Oh yeah. So we saw the bug last time, where the turret, you could have the placement preview in the world, and it would be active. Like it would hit the zombie, even though it was the placement preview and you're not paid for the turret yet. So AI fixed that for me, which is nice. I only had to have it go back and fix itself a couple times. And then I was looking at we have a bunch of things that are on the backlog in terms of like, you can see here 53 issues, right? So a lot of these are like feature things of like stuff I want to do later or whatnot, but there are some bugs and some other things in here as well, and non-coding related things as well in here, art things, whatever. I did think about some of the things that were in here and make some adjustments, which is not to say that this is all reflective of exactly what I want. There's probably some stuff here that's still kind of like out of date now or what have you. Like this one, add tutorial, we're already doing that as part of this issue. But there are some things. I think what I'll do here is that we'll say this is refine tutorial, because we're in. I think, I'm not sure if I had it in my mind when I had this written out, whether or not I was going to have the initial scenarios that we'd already started working on and sketched out of like single survivor by a car, a couple survivors with a campfire, so on and so forth, whether that was going to be the tutorial. And so I think I landed on those scenarios being the tutorial, because they're all these small scale, like a couple survivors, a fairly, self-contained sort of situation. Whereas I'm thinking that where I want to go with this game is going to be bigger and bigger levels with more complicated like terrain and that sort of stuff. So essentially we've already started on making the tutorial. In fact, one of the things I want to do today is I think I want to try to use Dialogic 2 for kind of like pop-ups that will serve as the tutorial. Like, part of an aspect of making the tutorial for this game is just making an easy enough scenario where there's like initially low pressure and then things ramp up to do things. And then the other part of it is like telling the player how to do things, right? And how are we going to communicate that? And I could build something, but I was thinking about this a few days ago, and I was thinking, well, why not just use Dialogic 2? We've already used it in a past practice game. The platformer with the top level, top down world to navigate between. So we could use Dialogic 2 here. I guess we'll have to see. I suspect like it has a nice set of features, and I think it's a thing that I would want to use for future games. So I'm thinking about opportunities, right, for practicing things that I will use down the road, right? So yeah. So for this, we have a list of things here that we were going to do, right? Convert scenario 1 into tutorial by. So the idea, what was sketched out here was to be like, oh, you can pause the game and you would provide, or yeah, provide an overlay on the game screen that pauses the game, so we can provide step-by-step instructions, teach clicking to attack, wait for the requested action to take place to advance that, teach obstacle placement, teach reading the UI, introduce tech tree, settings to disable tutorial. I guess, let's think about this. Maybe what I really want to do right now is, because I want to do this now, I think this I'm going to move into phase 2. I think instead of, and this all just got a meta, whatever. I think what I want to do is let's put this into the next set of things, and maybe what we can do is we can kind of de-scope our current work on scenario 1 so that we don't try to do all this tutorial stuff. I want to do this now, right? As part of, oh, that was the other thing I was going to say, is that I realized that on itch.io, I had at some point, we'd uploaded these binaries of the game that I've not tested at all, which is his own thing. But these were sitting on version 1, and they hadn't been updated in a long time. So yesterday, I went in and cut a new release, which in GitHub will be the 0.1.0 tag and release. And it's funny when you say that, right? It's a git tag, which is called a release in GitHub, and it serves as a release. But when you say tag and release, it sounds like you're like doing something with wildlife or something. Anyway, so I got this updated so that there's a more current version here for the 0 people that have downloaded the game. I'm assuming no one has down. Yeah, 0. Okay, that's good. Probably for the best. So, given that, we're going to bring the tutorial up. So let's take that issue with the list of, I think it looked like a good list of things that I wanted to do. Let's take those things out of here. And then we can call this done sooner, right? So I do want to make sure, let the dialogue move the camera to a location. I don't know that was on the other list. Or let the dialogue highlight a UI element. I think that's kind of implied, but we'll do that. We'll remove that. And then we'll work on this, I think. Yes. So I don't know that this is going to take the whole stream. I hope not. And then we can start working on the tutorial stuff, right? Or we could fix the T-pose of zombies. Could be also another thing to do. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, wrong edit. I want to edit this area. Step-by-step instruction with highlights where the text panel is moved out of the way. Yeah, sort of like that. So specifically, we want to let the dialogue move the camera to a location. Let the dialogue highlight a UI element. It said highlights here, but we can have some sub items out of this. Okay, so that should be good. It's gonna be interesting for the implications of like how we're gonna put the dialogue stuff into the game, because it needs to be somewhere where it's not gonna get paused when you open menus. In fact, it needs to not be affected by the pausing of the game in general. And it needs to be able to be on top of like UI elements. Should be interesting. But for now, we're working on scenario 1: survivor on a car by a road. And no, I have not done anything on the custom font in quite a while. I keep on forgetting about it, honestly. It's one of those things that I did intend to have, like, oh, I'm watching a stream, I got nothing better to do. I can pull up, I'm gonna do that in Inkscape, I think. Pull up Inkscape and, make a character or two. But anyway, okay, so Survivor 1, or Scenario 1, there is one survivor in this scenario. Yeah. So we did some things last time. And then I did some things after the stream, actually. I got some lunch, and then I went back, and I was like, okay, this should be pretty quick, right, to get going. So if we go into the game, I made it so the trunk is open. Just don't look too closely at the... it's some roughness around the trunk, but just pretend that that's fine. And theoretically, this is animatable. These are separate meshes in the model, and so that surface is in Godot, so we can like open the trunk if we want to animate that. And then I added scrap boxes here that we can click to collect. I did also go and switch this back to using decals. Apparently, there is a little gap. I'm not 100% sure why that is. Can we see that in the world? Let's see. It helps if I'm in Scenario 1. Oh yeah, I can see the gap. I think maybe I was just thinking that was just like not actually a gap, but just some line that was drawn across it. But of course that line is just the background color showing through. Yes. So what did I do wrong here? So basically what I did with this is where are our decals? They're all inside of this road. So I just made this. Yep. So we just have a texture, and yeah, it doesn't seem to be a way to be like, oh, there's a decal, but just to repeat it and stretch the decal, but like tile the texture. So I did this. Maybe this is not the best way to do this, but this is what I did, and clearly it's not the best way because we have a gap. But why do we have a gap? Is this a matter of So we have a transform on each of these, and we're moving these. I think these are 20 meters by 20 meters by 30 meters, but we're going along this direction. Yep. Is their local X direction. So you would think if they're 20 meters long and we offset them to be 20 meters apart, then there wouldn't be a gap. And clearly that's not the case. I wish it didn't flicker as much. Does that show up in? Yeah, it does a little bit. I think it's worse on my screen. So what's up with the gap? Vertical fade. What is... Sets the curve over which the decal will fade as the surface gets further from the center of the AABB. So... we are, is there a way to hide all of the children? That'd be nice, huh? there a way to like go to this node? Right, I can't click the decals because the ground's in the way. Let's hide the ground. There we go. Oh, maybe I just need to click this. Yeah, okay. Put the ground back. Trying to just understand the nature of things. So if I can make this line go away, that's what I want. Does it have anything to do with these? Seems like no. Okay, great. And by great I mean I don't know then. Was there one I just edited? I guess if I... Aha, there it is. Okay, so if it's not that, obviously I could try to just move the segments closer together. I don't see how it could be the image. Unless there is like, I mean, I guess there could be a little bit of transparency on one of the ends that I'm not seeing. Is there a quick way to... Show in file system. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Open. It's not what I want. Open an external program. Okay. It's not the external program I had in mind, but I guess it's the last time I set an external program for images. It was this. Okay, so it doesn't seem to me like there's transparency on this end. Or on this end. It goes straight, it goes all the way to the edge. So, what's up with that? Why is there a gap? Is there a gap now? There's an overlap. Better or worse? Or wait, is there still a gap? There's something. Yeah, there's a little bit of overlap there, and it's very annoying. Okay, well, I think that's much less noticeable. I wonder if we can just cheat. Can we be like, hey, make this just a tiny bit longer? Does that take effect on everyone? It does. It doesn't fix the gap, so I guess that's not enough. this did work. Okay. I don't know, maybe decals it. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good way of going about doing this. But let's see what it looks like in the actual running game. Okay. I mean, I know the texture is not perfect. I did really the only thing I did since the stream when it comes to the texture was we had an issue where I mean, I just drew the texture right on stream last week, but I didn't line up right to be repeated, so I like took it in half and then mirrored it, so that way the ends would align roughly. I think that's what it is, something like that, so that it you know. And so now we have some other issues here, some artifacts of what I just did, of having the textures overlap. Just ignore it for now. I do need a better way of doing this. I guess... you know, let's do this. I'm not going to spend any more time on this right now, but let's get a search going here. Godot decal. Oh, I've been here before. Yeah, so then I get search results. How do I get the pattern to not repeat? So it doesn't seem like anyone is talking about doing this, which is unfortunate. Wait, what was that other one? Make a shader? We can make a shader? Maybe. Okay, let's leave it for now. Why did this file change? Probably because... So, the other thing that happened yesterday was that I upgraded Godot to 4.6. And I did load the project and update, like, project settings, the GitHub actions, those sorts of things to all be 4.6, 4.6.1. But I think this changed just because the Godot editor touched the file. I assume that's why that changed. Same here. We're getting rid of load steps as a thing, apparently. Okay. Very well. Okay, so what did we actually change here? We moved the decals closer together. Okay, all we really did was adjust for decal sizes, and then the other stuff is not related. And one might argue that what you should do there is you should isolate the changes that were just the formatting changes from the upgrade in one commit, and then have another commit with the actual substantial change that we did, or changing the sizes of things. But okay. Okay, so that's all well and good. Can we add waves of zombies to encourage building defenses? And then balance the scenario so that you have to struggle to destroy zombies before they destroy the car. Need to build defenses to delay zombies while clicking them. So how do we do that? How do we accomplish the goal of making this fun? Is really at the end of the day what this is about, right? How do you make it fun? How? Well, we unpause for one thing. And then let's assume we collect the scrap here. So we have 60 scrap now. And theoretically, we can build a turret. Although, do we start with the turret? I guess we start with the turret. I really, really need to do something about the tech tree. Just because it bothers me. Should it bother me? Don't know. Wait. We start with the turret, but not stacked crates. Let's think about this for a second. It feels like, hey, you think you just ate like 600 grams of salmon? 600 grams. That's a decent amount. Good morning. How's it going? Is that a problem? What's wrong with some salmon? So this is supposed to be the thing that unlocks the turret. So the problem I have here is that one of the things we wanted to do was to... So first of all, the turret's not strong enough. The turret's not strong enough, and... Or the zombie is too strong. Let me start. Let's make some notes here. Because I have some issues with what I'm seeing. Menu for hotbar doesn't show the right names for obstacles. What else is a problem? You're full, too full. Your room smells like fried fish. Oh, it's fried salmon? Interesting. I don't think I've had a lot of fried salmon. No, that's... Not in a while, anyway. More like steamed. Why obstacle when pronounced obstacle? English. Because. History. Lots of reasons. Well, lots of explanations. There you go. That's probably a better word, right? Okay, so what else is wrong with this? Do we want to start the game with literally nothing unlocked? Maybe. Except, if we do that, the way things currently work, you can't unlock anything. So the game distinguishes, so the way the tech tree works. Let's go back to this. The way the tech tree works. Great. The way the tech tree works is that based on your level, you can unlock things. When you start the game, you are level 1. So if anything is available at level 1, you can unlock it. I don't know. I think maybe there needs to be some kind of cost to unlock. Because otherwise, I don't see the point in having this UI. Like having this. Why not just like make it available? Now, there are things, hypothetical things further in the tech tree that don't do anything yet, that are supposed to be like mutually exclusive. Like you can go down one path or the other. So that makes sense. But I think maybe having to spend scrap to unlock tech will make sense, because that will give you a reason, that will force you to have to fight the zombie by clicking it, because you won't, well, you'll have this scrap, right? You'll have this, you'll be able to collect 60 scrap here. What are the implications of this? I think I do. I think I do want to change that in that way. Okay, so great. How do we do that? Well, we have these config files for the tech tree. And so we have a resource file for each tech. Aha, and there is a scrap cost field. Currently unused, tech unlocking is free. Okay, great. So, let's see. I guess should I keep on adding a list of things that we need to solve here? Tech tree item, tech tree tech should cost scrap to unlock. Yep. So that's a thing, and then we need to add another wave of zombies. You're looking at the pile of dishes in your sink, and you decided to make it your tomorrow me problem. I see. It's fair. What can you do? What can you do about you hitting your past self? Hey, Green Bread.
Green Bread just followed.
Green Bread, hello. Thanks for the follow. What can your past self do? It can choose to not do the dishes and make you do them. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so currently making a list of things that, based on how things are, what we want to change in this game, and then we'll start diving into things. So one is that I've identified that it's kind of weird that we can unlock the tech just off the bat. Also, let's see. no crafting menu. So let's be more specific. I was gonna say like basic stuff, but let's say turret and barricade. That's not what they're actually called, right? What are they actually called? They're called boop 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 boop. It is the crates, stacked crates, and it's the scrap shooter, right? Scrap shooter. Okay, so and scrap shooter should be on the hotbar by default. Oops, by default. And then items on the hotbar that aren't unlocked yet should be grayed out. Exactly. Love the hair color. Is it like a pinkish color? Yeah, it was red. It was boy. I don't have a reference. It was red like that light is red. But it fades out over time. It's overdue for another renewal. But yeah, thank you. And then Ty here says the second it is a dangling participle, and that was meant as what can the future you do to the past be? Nothing. Well, words are hard. Yes, words are hard. Okay, so that's a list of things. Is there anything else I need to do? Is there anything else obvious about kind of this situation in the game that is busted? Like we could talk about like how much scrap things costs. Let's assume. Oh yeah, there was one thing. Either maybe the initial zombie has too much health. So the idea here, right, is that you start this world. You maybe have not played this game before. You know nothing about it. You will have some stuff on your hotbar, but it'll be like, oh, you can't use this because you don't have the technology unlocked. Instead, hit the zombie, right? And the zombie will come in. Maybe it should go slower. Yeah, I think initial wave should start sooner. Immediately. Oh, not after the tutorial. But the zombie should be slower. My thought here is that it's good that we don't have to wait too long for the zombie to like be in frame and see it. And for that matter, I probably want to. Ooh. For scenario 1, when the first wave starts, zoom. I'm gonna hold off on that. So I think that those kind of behaviors of like moving the camera around, we don't want to do too much. And I think that some of the stuff I have in mind for when we start the actual building of the tutorial elements of this will handle like on certain things happening, moving the camera like to show the player stuff. So I don't think we want to do that as part of this. So the zombie comes in. They should be a little bit slower, so you have a little bit more time to act. I think we probably need to do something about the not the hot bars, but the health bars and stuff. They're not good. And it's too much noise. But we'll come to that, right? So the zombie has 50 health, so I have to click it 50 times. Which is not great. The good news, there you go, we can do that. And we do get scrap for killing the zombie, so that's good. I think maybe the way I want this to go is that we tell the player we're not building the tutorial, like we're not building the instructions yet, but I'm thinking about what the instructions are going to be and how the level, the scenario needs to be to match those instructions. So we have these scrap boxes. We have you can click them. Can't now because I've ended the level, but you could click them. like so, right, to collect the scrap. And then what do you do? Well, then you go to the tech tree and you unlock some crates or the turret. So I think I still want these things to be available in the like at level 1, right? So the way leveling works in this, the way I've made it work is that you will earn XP. Any leftover scrap you have at the end of the scenario when you win gets turned into XP, and that gets applied to leveling up your I guess, really. Right, and that makes things available, which means anything that's above level 1, the first time you play this, you will not have available. You will not have anything beyond level 1 tech unlockable until you complete the first scenario once successfully, which I think is motivating. What do we do? So I think the unlock cost should be considerably more than the placement cost. And I think what do I think? I don't know. I don't know that the stat crates are super helpful unless we would either have to make them really cheap or really like durable. Specifically in this scenario, because it's like open ground, right? I haven't really shown it in this, but the zombies have decent pathfinding. So we can't just be like, oh, they spawn here, I'll just like funnel them. They'll go around. And the zombies do spawn from both ends of the road and come into the middle. So without a lot of scrap, I'm not sure that the stat crates are super helpful. I think even if they were really durable, they'd also have to be really cheap to be usable, because you need to put down a bunch to like wall things off, at least with their current size. The scrap recycler, did I implement this? I don't think I implemented this yet. Generate scrap over time. So this is something that's very that will change the game a little bit, because now you will be able to passively generate scrap. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not, and it's not even implemented yet. But do we want to implement this now? Do we want to make this like part of the loop for this first scenario? I think probably not, because yeah. Also, the level requirements for these things don't really, like, none of this is balanced, right? I've just plugged in numbers, because it's really easy to get past like level 6 with the way XP and scrap and stuff works right now. So I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to confine ourselves to what we want to make available on level 1. I think what that's telling me, though, is that the scrap recycler, these economy things, should start at a higher level, so you can't even get to them in this. I wonder if this is a good time to... Where is... Let's go back here. I'm looking for something that I don't see. Editor docs, tech tree, editor doc. Behold. Now, is this going to be useful to us? I don't know, honestly. Let's see if we redo the layout. There we go. Let's give this a shot. So, scrap recycler 2. Oh, there's a save changes button here. Uh-oh. Invalid assignment of property or key. Prerequisite tech IDs with value of type array. Okay. So this is broken. That is not surprising to me. Okay, well, we can always edit it through the inspector, right? Because they're just resource files. I just gotta find the scrap recycler. Oh, it did work though. It did update the level requirement. So when we go back to the game, probably have to restart. We should see that reflected. Nope. Okay, great. Super. Yeah, that definitely broke some things. Oh, I see it. Yeah. So the editor plugin for this is totally broken. It's fallen behind, which is unfortunate. But okay. So we just want to change this to 2. Yep. Great. Okay, and this has the other one as a prerequisite, so we'll do that. And I guess we can do that, and then interesting. Were we gonna have scrap nodes in the world that we place these things on? I don't know. Like I said, none of this stuff is implemented yet, but we'll do that. Okay, so distractions aside. Oh, right. So I think, right. So what I was trying to figure out was, what does the player do when they start, right? Or what are we going to suggest to them that they do, right? I think that's going to be to unlock the turret. Right. Did I write down something? Yeah, I did say text should cost scrap to unlock. So we'll tackle that in a minute. The amount should be pretty substantial. So we got to think about a couple of things, right? So one, I think, so if we say we have 60 scrap in those scrap boxes next to the car, the amount of scrap necessary to unlock the turret should be probably bigger than that. And then how much scrap did the zombies give? Let's see, I think I can discover that, right? So it's a basic zombie. Basic zombies give 15 scrap. So we could be like, it costs 75 scrap to unlock the turret, which means you have to fight the zombie. Yeah. but then you still have to fight more zombies. You still have to click on them because then you don't have any scrap because you used it all to unlock the tech. So you fight off the other wave, barely. And maybe at this point the car is almost destroyed, and then you can start putting down turrets. And then the next wave comes, and with the turret, the help of the turret, or maybe you can put down 2 turrets, you can fend off the next wave. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I think that is a story. Okay, so should cost 75 scrap to unlock. So what about the stacked crates? Kind of a problem. There's my Discord going off. I should put myself in the streamer mode so that I don't hear those notifications. Boop, 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 boop. Streamer mode. There we go. All right. So 75 scrap to unlock. What happens if the player... What is the role of the scrap? Like, as a category, like we have these tech categories. So we have like offensive and defensive. It is kind of weird that we're basically... Forget about defenses. But on the other hand, you have a really good defense starting out in this scenario because the survivor is on top of the car and the car has lots of health. So that's effectively the defense. So maybe focusing on offense first. And then maybe in the second scenario, we can focus on defense. I don't think there's anything wrong in having suboptimal options for the player to choose. And it Not sure about what I want to do with that. Okay, regardless. That's enough waffling about things. We have a list of things we can tackle, so let's get going on that. Tech should cost scrap to unlock. Well, apparently there's a to-do in here where we say currently unused. So where do we say currently unused? Currently unused. Okay, in a couple of places. In tech node resource, which is the thing that defines this resource for the tech tree, and in tech tree manager. Okay. So we have a check to say if you can unlock a tech. Yeah, good job. We kept it. So if there is a scrap cost and you don't have enough scrap, then you return false here. Cool. Does anything else refer to scrap cost in this? Unlock tech. Deduct scrap cost, if any, currently in use. Great. Good job. Okay, so we try to spend the scrap if it has a scrap cost. Okay, so this is already implemented. It's great. I just need to remove the comment saying that's not used. Okay, cool. So then we will start adding scrap costs to things. So these are the resources that I've actually implemented. So for the obstacles, so we have the wall, which is the okay. So this is why in the hotbar it says wall, and not the thing that the tech tree says, is because there is one configuration for the things you can place and one configuration for the things in the tech tree, and they're linked, but yeah. Okay, so the tech tree is what I need to look at right now, though, because what we want to do is we want to say, oh, for the scrap shooter, the scrap cost is 75 to unlock. In the crate, the scrap cost is 5. Really cheap to unlock, and then really cheap to actually, let's leave it at 0. I think that's fair. It should be really cheap to unlock. It says starter check available immediately. That's sort of true. Yeah. I mean, it's true because the level requirement is level 1. So it is available immediately. You just have to spend some scrap to buy it. Okay. So that's this. This is the, like, what gets unlocked and what it's called. And then the other side of that is in the actual obstacle for the turret, right? It should be scrap shooter, and we'll just borrow this text, and we got to take a break here because Twitch wants to run ads. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes and continue